Welcome to Orioles Digest. I'm your host, Kam Brice. And like I say in every video, hit that subscribe button. Come join the family. I'm giving you daily updates about the Baltimore Orioles that you don't want to miss. This past week, the Baltimore Orioles agreed to a one-year deal with reliever Andrew Kittredge. In the past couple days, reports are starting to come out how they were also interested in another free agent reliever. Robert Murray, MLB insider, gave us some insight about the Baltimore Orioles and their potential signing of Jeff Hoffman. Hoffman and the Baltimore Orioles reached an agreement on a 3-year, $40 million contract earlier this week, sources say. The Orioles, however, flagged Hoffman's physical. Two sources say it was his right shoulder and ultimately signed right-hander Andrew Kittredge to a 1-year, $10 million contract. The Baltimore Orioles make the smart move by not signing Jeff Hoffman. That was a very smart decision from Mike Elias. And I know a lot of people want to say Elias missed out on a big free agent once again. That's not the case at all. Hoffman's physical did not look good with the Orioles medical team. And we should trust the Orioles medical team because over the last 2 to 3 seasons, they have dealt with so many injuries to their pitching staff. So we don't want to bring on guys who have elbow or lingering shoulder injuries and could potentially end their season shortly in 2025. And that's what the Orioles do not need. They need a guy who they can trust in a playoff moment. Yes, Jeff Hoffman was one of the best relievers in baseball last season, but it doesn't matter if his physical doesn't look right with the Orioles medical team. We have to trust them and just have to trust that Mike Elias is doing everything for this team for the present and the future. So let's get into Andrew Kittredge. 74 games, 10 home runs allowed, 60 hits allowed, 2.8 ERA, 1.132 whip. Pitched over 70 innings. This is a guy, like I said before, he's very consistent. Doesn't give up a lot of home runs. 10 is really not a lot. 7.6 hits per 9 innings. That's very good. Andrew is a guy who's going to go out there for maybe 1 inning, a half of 2 innings, and strike out about 3 batters, give up 2 to 3 hits. That's perfectly fine. You're not giving up any earned runs, and that's the only thing the Baltimore have to worry about. Get a guy that can be in high leverage situations, not give up a lot of runs. We already have Félix Bautista, Yennier Cano, Cionel Perez. We saw last season, Keegan Aiken had a breakout season, and I expect him to be even better this season. So the Baltimore Orioles bullpen is looking very good. The only problem is every single year we say the same thing. They have to stay healthy. If they can stay healthy and Félix Bautista can return to somewhat of his old self, this will be the scariest bullpen in the MLB. You might not think it now, but just wait until 2025. This team is going to be absolutely scary. Now that we've talked about the bullpen and how they might be one of the best in the MLB going to 2025, I want to switch this over to the prospects and talk about 2 names who everyone should watch out for in 2025. What's going to happen with Kobe Mayo and Samuel Bazzio in 2025? One thing that we do know is Kobe Mayo will get MLB opportunities. It just depends how he produces in the minors. If he starts out in spring training and dominates and goes to the MLB, I don't see where they can fit him in a role, especially with Ryan O'Hearn and Ryan Mountcastle playing almost every single day. It's just not enough opportunities for him. But what Samuel Bazzio is doing in the minors has a career average over 300, OPS well over 900, on base percentage well over 350. He's just been dominating at every single level. And if he goes into AA next season and dominates, that's going to put Kobe Mayo and the Orioles in a difficult position. Now, why I say this is a difficult decision for the Baltimore Orioles is because, say, Samuel Bazzio dominates in AA throughout the first couple months of the season. The Baltimore Orioles have to call him up. But where does he play? And say Gary Sanchez is having a good season as a backup catcher. You don't want to ruin that formula for a backup catcher and a starting pitcher, and you don't want to mess up Adley Rutschman's timing with his starting pitcher. So it's going to be interesting. Do they move Samuel Bazzio to first base? Now, you can't possibly do that. You have Ryan O'Hearn and Ryan Mountcastle. That got me thinking that if you make a trade right now or for February, at the end of January, you could possibly move Ryan Mountcastle for Cease. That gets a clear path for Kobe Mayo and Samuel Bazial. Say Kobe Mayo comes up first, he doesn't produce, you send him back to the minors, you bring up Samuel. Say Samuel produces. I don't see a clear path for Kobe Mayo unless someone is moved. It's just not looking so good for him unless he has a strong spring training. Because I know once Samuel Bazial figures it out early in AAA, he's going to skyrocket. He has that type of potential. We have to remember at 17, he was one of the best players in the minors, and he's only going to continue to get better. So this puts the Baltimore Orioles in a very difficult situation. And I don't know how the Baltimore Orioles handle that unless you trade Ryan Mountcastle. And we're going to take a little deep dive into Ryan Mountcastle. Okay, say Ryan Mountcastle was having a career year. By All-Star break, he has 20 home runs, well over 60 RBIs, average is over 260. Then what? You have Kobe Mayo and Samuel Bazial sitting in AAA. Say both of them are producing. Average is well over 280. You're in a sticky situation. Do you go out, trade Mountcastle for arm? I don't think there are going to be many arms available at the trade deadline next season. Most guys are under contract. There are not any big free agent pitchers coming out in the free agent market in 2026. This is the best chance to trade Mountcastle. Elias has so much leverage right now. Don't wait until the season until he has an all-star season because teams are going to realize that, like I've said before. You have to trade him now and especially try to get a guy like Dylan Cease. Not at the trade deadline when you only have a half year of Dylan Cease and then you have to throw out possible extension and say he doesn't accept that. Then you're in the same spot you were with Corbin Burnes this offseason. I think Elias has made very sneaky moves this offseason. Moves that's going to make this team better in 2025. A lot of people might not believe it right now, but all of these little moves are going to help this team reach their point that they want to go. And that's the World Series next year. So if you want to win a World Series, trade Mountcastle, bring Cease in. If you don't, figure out what you're going to do with Samuel Bazial and Kobe Mayo before it's too late. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Come join Orioles Digest. I'm giving you takes, daily updates about the Baltimore Orioles every single day that you don't want to miss.